Hello and welcome everybody to what is going to be a fun and one-off event. It's going to be the slow car specials. Of course, we're going to be in the GT3 cars here tonight at the wonderful, wonderful track of Silverstone, my personal favorite, of course. I think everyone knows that by now. 3.6 miles of absolute awesomeness with 18 corners, 8 to the right and 10... I already messed up. It's 8 to the left, 10 to the right. And it's going to be some thrilling action. Located in Northamptonshire, England. It's going to be... like I say, absolutely awesome tonight. We have quite a few cars out on track as well. 40 cars for this special event here. All GT3s, bringing back some history here tonight as we can see some old Aston Martin V12, some old McLarens, some old GTRs. Cars that don't necessarily get the love and respect that they once did at one point in time. We're here to show them some love tonight. Of course, I'm Mike Nause in the booth. Hope everyone's having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. I see we got Karu in chat already. I'm going to be alone in the booth tonight. But like I say, I hope you guys are going to enjoy. Currently taking a look at some of these drivers out there on track. We are in the qualifying session with times flying on the board. I was expecting times around the 2-minute mark. So far, we're not quite seeing that. 2033 is going to be the time to beat for pole position right now. Burnsy getting close to the T-Rex costume. Oh my goodness. For the 6... yeah, that would not be fun. But we would make do. Of course, that would be... We picked the stream. But regardless, welcome Hepburn. And Zane Blisket, welcome as well. We have a lot of cars, like I say, out there lapping already. And you can see getting tangled up in a little bit of traffic. A few cars. Got an Aston Martin V12 there next to a McLaren, I think that is. I can't quite tell. It's going to be an interesting one. I'm not too familiar with some of these older cars. I don't know if the Gallardo was a choice that we had. I guess I have the sheet right here to look at as we have it. It is going to be the McLaren 650, the Aston Martin V12, the Jag, as well as the Bentley, the Retire Engineering RX? What is that? RX? Is that the... That's not the Gallardo. What is that? The Bentley 2015 and the Nissan GTR 2015. Those are going to be the available cars here tonight. Why don't we get some in-game sound, get some audio here? Besides my voice, of course. It's going to be a mandatory pit stop tonight with a refuel. No mandatory tires. Optional, though, if they do want to take them. We may or may not see them. It's a 45-minute race, or it's a 30-45 doubleheader, excuse me. That's right, it's going to be 2 races tonight. So the first race, I would say they definitely are not going to take tires. The second one, I think it'll be up in the air for sure. Why don't we pop, though, down into game and take a look at some of these times that are being set. As I said, we are in qualifying. As it stands, it's going to be Arjun Narasimhan on pole position here with Kamal Kwiatkowski behind. We can get some graphics here up. There we go. Currently, Bentley P1 and 2 with a Jag on P3. Darren Thomas rounding that with a Jagger Jag. All right. Very, very nice livery there from Darren Thomas. We have some very special one-off liveries from some of these drivers. They've put in a lot of effort to make a car for one event, which is absolutely awesome to see. The livery here, the mint chocolate lawnmower here by Arjun Narasimhan. Is it Lakshmi? Lakshmi? I think it's Lakshmi. But I do apologize on that middle name pronunciation. We also have Eric Miller jumping up into 4th position in the Aston Martin V12. I think this is going to be one of the fan favorite cars out there on track. The Lean Green Machine bringing out the classic BRG here at the classic British racing track. And the 117 is wrapping it extremely, extremely well. Coming through the most beautiful quarter complex in the world, in my opinion. Heading on to the hangar straight now. Listen to that V12 roar. Sounds like a barking dog as it goes through the downshifts. Very big dog, though. Not some small little chihuahua. Or a Pomeranian? No, more like a German Shepherd is the Aston Martin. And it drives like one as well, whatever that means. Nause is going to call an end to his qualifying, it seems. It's going to be that with a pole position time on the board. 2:010 is the time to beat. Can Kwiatkowski manage that? We haven't seen Kimo out there on track in a while. It's been a minute since we've seen the Crazy Rabbits racing. Aston Martin V12, though, he is not a slouch whatsoever when it comes to this. I think I said that there were 2 Bentleys on pole. It looked like I don't know what I was thinking. Those are Aston Martins on pole. Still British vehicles nonetheless, but the logo's slightly similar when you're looking at them from a distance. And that is the REX, that is the Gallardo. Okay, and Jacob Church is going to be piloting the Gallardo here tonight. David dropping a sub. You love to see it. Thank you very much, David, for your continued support here. Let's go, he says. Absolutely awesome. Really appreciate all of you guys' support here. Of course, we are 27 follows, 16. My goodness, I haven't looked in a while. 16 follows away from Dominic Spedra and I's Kiss Cam. So make sure you guys, if you haven't followed, hit that follow button, of course. Kimo, I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it here. He's going to be dead even with his time. He has a second to make up and not much track to do. So wait, he just started his lap. He is invalidated. Definitely not going to be able to do it on that. Darren Thomas next to do it with the Jagger. Or the Jag, I suppose. I'm not sure how to properly word that. I don't think there is a way to. As well, Jacob Cunningham in the GTR with an awesome livery. Everybody just bringing out the works here tonight with their liveries. That's incredible. And David get his head down and head out in the quali session as that virtual checkered flag has fallen. For the odd plates, we are going to see a few more drivers setting times here, though, as they had started their lap prior to the checkered flag falling. Now are able to come out. Eric Akassian with a very nice lap in the Jag. It's a Jag with a Jeremy Clarkson face on there. You love to see it. Trackalicious logo as well. Eric there repping that into P4. Great drive so far. Can he manage to hold that into the race? That's going to be the question, as he has his race pace as of late has not quite been there. We'll see if he can manage to make up for that. Oh, it is okay, it is it it's Lakshmi. Is it Lakshmi? Arjun Lakshmi Narasimhan? It isn't that hard, I'll be honest. It's just, I honestly didn't realize that was both your surname. I thought that was a middle name. It's like, in America, we have middle names, so. But no, I did not realize that is your proper surname with 2 words, so fair enough. Just hashtag just ignorant American things. Keith Bull here, gonna be coming charging across the line like a bull to start his lap. Actually does manage to set a time on the board with it. Currently in 15th position is the Garage 59, number 17 McLaren 650. Almost said 720, definitely not. Does Jacob have a cat's livery? That is what it looked like to me. We also have Lizzie Alicea, not out on track, excuse me. I even play, oh, she's an odd plate driver. I missed that. My bad. Her brother, though, David Alicea, currently, where are they? 40 drivers on the grid. Trying to locate one of them. One bigly, Jacob Church dropping a gifted sub. Thank you so much, Jacob. You are absolutely incredible. Your continued support here, like I say, it really makes us it makes us happy here at Trackalicious, and we really, really appreciate your extreme generosity. You uploaded a livery today? I downloaded the liveries today. As you would not, I have all of these wonderful liveries Was it uploaded as a livery folder inside of a folder? Because that was David's problem, I know. If David helped her, that might have been it. David needs to go to school on how to upload liveries. Yes, Lizzie, I do not seem to have it. If you can get it corrected by the end of qualifying, I'll fix it. It wasn't? Alright, well, honestly, it'll be tough to do anyways. But if you can get it done within the next, like, 3 minutes. Looked proper? Eh. Unfortunately, it does not seem to be. Will Brunner comes across the line there to start his lap in the number 98 Simcast insert name. Still don't know why they do that. We also have the awesome Noobs R Us livery here. The purple and black Aston Martin V12. Lots of Aston Martins, of course. Going to have one of the best straight line speeds here at Silverstone. Silverstone, 11 meters of elevation change. Mostly a flat track and a lot of straight lines here. Dan Brace with a rocket ship of a time here is going to be up to P5 in the Ironman McLaren. Driving the 650S here tonight is Dan Brace. Looking really strong as well. Wow, what a lap there as well from Abner Pena, the Puerto Rican driver, the O-Man Racing with TF Sport. Comes across the line in the V12 there to set a smasher time, 0.6 off the pace there of Lakshmi Narasimhan. Also, Snoopy, welcome. Darren Thomas in chat. Tony Rodriguez with a time on to be respected in the Jag. The Jag looks so strange from the front. With a lovely SDR Jag. Nice Jag on the side of that Jag. How many times can I say Jag in one sentence? That is going to be the question here by the end of the night. Loads of British representation here for this British track, no doubt, as we have most... Wait a second. There's only 2 cars on the grid that are not British, now that I think about it. And after I look at the signups, I think that's still the case. McLaren, okay, there's no GT... Where's the GTRs? No, there's Cunningham as well in a GTR. Most, though, of these cars are British, repping strong here on the British track. I think we are going to... Oh. Pena catching up with some traffic there. GTR getting in the way there a little bit. And Scott's sentence is 7 Jags in one sentence. Fair enough. And there's 4 GTRs on the grid. Okay. Welcome, Doc Milwee, as well. Bro Dirt, welcome. Was going to join, but didn't quite get any practice. Lizzie says done. All right, we'll do this real quick, Lizzie. We'll see if it works. I'll give it a relog before the session comes in. As we watch Pena to the line here, definitely not going to be improving on that lap after getting caught up behind traffic. Tony Rodriguez on a flyer, though, looking to maybe even take the likes of pole position here. Is going to be rounding through the final turn complex now. Coming through Brooklyn's Luffield and Woodcut sweep. On to the start-finish straight here. Comes across the line. Is going to be second fastest. 1.9 off of pole position there. What a lap from the SDR Jag there. Other drivers keep an eye on. Ollie Raza has rocketed to pole position. I think I missed that. No, I did. Did I miss that? I must have missed that. Ollie Raza, I'm not sure when he did that, but is up to pole position. No surprise there in the Jag. What a lap from the Rozder. Can ride on board with him for the rest of this one. Why not? Why are there so many livery folders now? This makes this extremely difficult. Coming through Luffield now. On to the start-finish straight. Is he going to improve his time? Currently at 2 minute 0.8. And we go to the line. What's it going to be? It isn't going to be quick enough. He's going to keep on it, though. Also have, say, Tony Rodriguez. He's down on his lap, looking to improve. Abner Pena, though. We saw in chat earlier somebody saying that they were very, very close to that pole position time. Looking very strong as well in the O-Man Racing with TF Sport Jag. Oh, this is going to be a tough one tonight. V12, Aston Martin, lots of very, very unusual cars out there, which is absolutely awesome to see. That is, of course, the point of tonight. We also have Juan Kairos there practicing his pit entry. Caleb Dimmock is yet to come to the line just yet for his final one. He is going to get another lap in if he would like. Also, Lolly, welcome, welcome. Here to support, of course, David and Lizzie both out there on track. Lizzie, I'm sorry, but the livery isn't going to work this time. I'm not going to be able to get it in time. We have the Lamborghini Gallardo here of Mike Burkhoff, a car that I don't think I've ever actually seen before out on track. Out there tonight, of course, that is the point of this race. Going to be to just get some love into the cars for that never get any, really. The 2015 Bentley, of course. That's not 2018. There are two Bentleys in the game. 2015 Bentley, the McLaren 650S. We're watching the Lamborghini Gallardo come to the line now. Checkered flag is out for Mike Burkhoff. And that is going to be his best time there. Has a little bit of a spin as well. And David does, yes, David, your livery does work. Jace Wright to the line. Is going to be 19th fastest there. Keith Bull. A little bit more of his lap to go. The 410 of John Hawley here in the Taylor Slow Tour. Okay, interesting livery there. Very nice from John Hawley. Maybe a little tribute to the T-Swizzle 2022 livery that we've seen. The T-Slow Tour 23 car. And yeah, we'll check these liveries out a little bit more once we get in game. I'm sure we'll have a little bit more time as well. Casey Swanseeger, 34th position. Professor Chronotis is going to head to the line here. What's it going to be from him? He is on a little bit of a gain. Is it going to be enough for a position? Yeager Karu is the car in front by about a 10th. It's enough to get him. And just about, what is that? 10 thousandths behind Jacob Cunningham. Pretty tight margins down there. Zane Blisket not too far. In fact, pretty much all the way down from P20 down to P24, separated by about a 10th. Or about a second. Very, very nice to see. Alex Freeman to the line is going to bring an end to this session here. This is going to be the race 1 tonight. Race 1 of 2, of course. And we are going to see these classic cars drive around this incredible classic circuit here tonight. Of course, like I say, as most people know, I think at this point, this is my favorite track. Just to watch, to drive, just in general, it is so amazing the amount of history that has been formed here at this track. Yeager's is time for pain? Oh, come on. Ismail Kobus, welcome. Sorry, Lizzie. As the, oh my goodness, we have a very, very quick grid start here tonight. That's okay. We have a long outlap, so we can get into meeting our drivers here while they're going to be on the cruise, it seems. The drivers here going to be getting ready to get going. Starting here off in pole position. It is going to be the number 34 car here. It's going to be Abner Pena getting underway here at the start of the outlap. The number 34 Leading us away in the Aston Martin V12, Ali Raza is going to be in P2 next to him in the first row there. Tony Rodriguez lined up on row 2, the Spanish driver in P3. We have Arjun Lakshmi Narasimhan in P4 next to Darren Thomas in P5 in the Jagger Jag, is easy enough to say for me. Dan Brace going to be taking 6th fastest in the Ironman McLaren next to Juan Kairos in the American United Racing McLaren, the Brazilian. John Hawley going to be in the Taylor Show Tour 23 car, the number 410 in an awesome livery, next to Miguel I know I've been told this before. It's Astiazaron. There we go. Miguel Astiazaron in P9 there. Next to him, Kamal Kwiatkowski rounding out our top 10. Aaron Miller going to be in P11 next to Mike Burkov in P12. Lamborghini Gallardo from Mike Burkov as well. Will Brenner in P13 next to Eric the Boss Kakassian, going to be in 14th fastest coming down the hangar straight now. Adam King lined up behind him in P15. Eric Miller going to be in the BRG Aston Martin here at Silverstone, of course located in Britain. P16 respectively next to Tony Danzig in P17 in the melted Jolly Rancher Bentley. Jace Wright is going to be in P18 next to Brad Sievers in 19th. Randy Gross, 20th fastest next to Zane Bliskett in 21st. I see position changes. I really hope they don't change. But regardless, Jacob Cunningham in an insert name racing, very cat-inspired livery there. The number 27 next to Professor Cronotis in 23rd. DeMarcus Rogers, 24th fastest next to Jaeger Carew in 25th. David Santos in P26 next to Anthony Macho Camacho in P27. Daniel Ludd in P28, Campbell Dinnock 29th, Reggie King 30th, Alex Freeman in P31 next to Christopher Laronde in 32nd, Jacob Church in 33rd, Casey Swanseeger 34th, David Alessia in 35th, Keith Bull 36th, Ben Beams in 37th, Scott Sullivan in 38th, Alexandre Afonso in P39, Lizzie Alessia in P40, and bring it up last but not least in the 621 Lamborghini Gallardo. It's going to be Rally Duce. 41 drivers is the number tonight, and there's a car off, spun on the side. The 88 car has binned it on the outlap. And we have some love there for Pena as well in chat. You love to see that. And some hydrates from Josh. Thank you very much. We'll need them before this race. Got a little bit more time as we approach the Luffield Woodcut Sweep section here, the final corner, where in the race, the exit is going to be one of the most crucial ones here. Heading into the first corner, very, very high-speed corner. It's going to be all on the line. Hopefully we don't go 3 wide into that, as it never will work. Let's get these hydrates, though. As I punch my microphone, as the cars line up as well. 2x2, Noah's Ark formation. As we get ready to go green here at Silverstone. 3.6 miles here in Northamptonshire, England. 18 corners, 8 to the left, 10 to the right, 11 meters of elevation. This is going to be an absolute thriller. I'm Mike Nause in the booth, and on pole position, we have Abner Pena. Next to him is going to be Ali Raza. It's going to be a big charge down to the first corner here. Ali going to be trying to stick it to him on the outside. He's going to have the dirty line. Is he going to go through with clean racing? That is the question. It's an Aston Martin and a Jag on pole as we come across the line here and get ready. The green flag is a little bit further down. I always forget that here at Silverstone. As we come across the Silverstone flag and we get ready to go green here at Silverstone. It's a smasher already from Abner Pena as he gets away massively side by side from Narasimhan and Tony Rodriguez. Tony Rodriguez taking the inside line as Narasimhan washes wide. Darren Thomas is going to take advantage as well. Dan Brace trying to get his nose involved as we head into the most famous corner complex in the world. It's going to be Maggots and Beckett's. Dan Brace gaining massively. They're almost into the rear bumper, heading through it as we go nip and tuck. Everybody going to be very calm, I say, as we see a little bit of 2 and 3 wide action heading through Maggots and Beckett's. That is going to have a very, very poor exit onto the hangar straight, which might result in people getting swamped up. As we see them now coming onto it for the first time down the hangar straight. You can see all of the cars rushing by as we head towards Cops. extremely high speed, not Cops, excuse me, Stowe. Side by side into Stowe. Adam King going to be on the outside there, the 002. I think he is going to have the inside line heading in towards the hairpin. Can he outbrake the McLaren? This is for P14. He's going to stick with a little bit of bumping and banging as they come through the hairpin. No surprises there. A little bit of rubbing, though, as they get by. And it is going to be the advantage there for the 002 up at the front. Darren Thomas chasing down Tony Rodriguez. No change in positions up here since the start. Actually, Nara Simon has fallen down a little bit, actually, to P5, the Indian driver there. And the mint chocolate lawnmower, unfortunately, taking that namesake a little bit too literally this time. And why aren't I driving a Nissan? Why would I drive a Nissan? Dan Brace here, chasing down Nara Simon, gaining under braking there pretty intently. Almost going for a move, not able to. Ali Raza is biting at the rear there of Abner Pena. He wants to get this position taken early. There is one mandatory pit stop, of course, where they will be able to have a little bit of strategy, of course. No pit stops, or excuse me, no tire changes are going to be expected for this race one tonight. There are 2 races, though. This is going to be the first one of 2, obviously. A qualifying will be following after this. Make sure you guys don't go anywhere. But, of course, we still have 27 minutes and 43 minutes of action, so I don't expect you guys to go anywhere for now. Tony Danzig a bit further behind, looking to make gains here into Maggots and Beckett's. Has a little bit of a switchback, tries to take the inside line, but it's going to quickly turn to the outside, then the inside, then the outside. That's the roller coaster-like corners complex of Maggots and Beckett's. It's very hard to overtake through there, and Tony Danzig might actually find being a victim himself here as we come onto the hangar straight. That's going to be your best overtaking opportunity here. You can get the slipstream from other drivers potentially here as the GTR, or excuse me, that is, oh man, we're going to go 3 wide. Aaron Miller making a little bit of a move here down. Holy smokes, good job from these drivers. Of course, these are all cars that most of these drivers are not familiar with. Heading into the Bell hairpin now. It's going to continue side-by-side action. The Aston Martin, is he going to back out? He is going to come under threat from the McLaren as the McLaren makes massive sense. That is Jace Wright bumping and banging through and throughout. Jace Wright gets sent wide, rejoining the track. There is some massive contact, but these cars clearly were built sturdier back in the days. Oh, and there's contact into the fastest corner on the track there, the second fastest corner on the track through Stowe. Or not Stowe, excuse me, through Cops. Where are we even? I think that was Abby. Abby is the corner name I'm looking for. Eric Miller coming off all right from that. Is going to be under threat from a fellow Eric, though. The Eric the Bosca cost. It's going to be some Jag on Aston Martin here. The 2 British cars going at it for right now. We also have a bit further up ahead, Zane Blisket. Dan Brace, though, down the inside of Kemal Kiatazovic. We know is that Juan Kairos. That is Juan Kairos, excuse me. Kemal is going to be behind, trying to make gains into the first corner. He's going to be maybe making a send here. He's going to back out smartly, though. Wait for a time. Dan Brace, makes contact with Juan Kairos. As a result, his car gets pitched and unsettled. Juan Kairos rejoins the track ahead of everybody there. The Bentley of John Hawley is coming at him quickly, too. Down the inside, though, of the first start of Maggots and Beckett's. And he is going to be ahead, Dan Brace. Now, John Hawley to attack the car in front. Mike Burkov, though, in the Lamborghini Gallardo is going to be making gains as well. Oh, all right, and we can do that full onboard lap as well, Lord West. I did not miss that. And no crazy pileups, Bread. So far, so good. We are green, green, green here at Silverstone. Looks like we do have 1 driver into the pits, though, already. David Alicea, a bit further down, currently under threat from Chris Laronde here, heading into Cops. We'll get that right one of these times. It's Stowe anyways. Like I said, we'll get it right one of these times. Voss, welcome. Oh, and that is David off. Oh no, the Alicea. They make contact actually and ends up into the kitty litter. David there. Very unfortunate. Is going to rejoin the track in P37 just ahead of his sister. It's going to be the two Puerto Ricans having a little bit of love out on the track as well here. David and Lizzie. What is going to happen? We'll see. We'll check in that in a little bit as Keith is attacking Benjamin Beams in front. I think that's a Daniel Versosa original livery there, if I'm not mistaken. Goes off the track. Kev John, give it a nice little reminder to everybody. Stay hydrated, everyone. Of course, it is not just meant for me. It is meant for everybody, including the drivers, anyone that's listening. Ben Beams there does get overtaken. Alex Afonso attacking Chris Laronde. Up ahead, Eric Gakossi and Zane Bliss get into the pits. Early pit stops here for some of these guys going for the undercut. Eric Miller is going to be battling with Aaron Miller because Eric was battling with Eric on track. Now Miller has to battle the fellow Miller. Eric just all over the people with the same name here tonight. Heading on to the hangar straight now is going to be in that slipstream, or rather has Daniel Ludd in his slipstream. My bad, looking at that incorrectly. The 33 car of Brad Sievers is off, unfortunately. Closes the gap, does Eric Miller, not allowing Daniel Ludd through. Nice work there. Great defense as it stands. You can see the one next to those drivers' names. That indicates that they have one more pit stop here to go. You can hear that V12, like I say, barking through the gears. As we head towards Abbey. Down a gear, waiting to get on that throttle, very patient, seeing the car wash wide in front of you. It's so tempting to do the exact same thing, but here we go. We're going to have a move. Down the inside we go. The 117 is going to force Aaron a little bit wide, or Aaron, I think, maybe just on a bit of a, well, his tires are a little bit cooked there, it seems like, potentially. The Aston Martin wearing through those maybe earlier than expected. Wish this field looked more like this these days. You know, we move on. Unfortunately, all of these cars have just been outclassed. They've been forgotten about. And, you know, just it hasn't worked out for them, unfortunately, at the end of the day. The Jag still slightly competitive. Of course, we saw that top three at the Trackalicious Bathurst 12 Hours. That was a few months ago, probably about 7 or 8 months ago at this time. We also have a potential change in the lead here happening. Keep an eye on the Ollie Raza Abner Pena battle. The Bentley did get upgraded, of course, to the 2018 Bentley. And the 650S, well, definitely got outclassed at this point. I don't think there's any denying that. Get an onboard here with the Emil Frey Racing Raza Motorsports. You can see coming out at it, the Jag. You hear that traction control kicking in as he's on TC1, and it's still kicking in on the exit there of the Bell hairpin. The British, you know, not necessarily known for their electronic skills, as most of these cars were actually built in a shed in somebody's backyard in the Cotswolds. So it's just how it goes with Jag here, chasing down a V12, which had a similar upbringing, definitely. Very similar upbringing for that car. Very shed-based. Some of the best things, though, came out of sheds. The Aston Martin V12, definitely one of those. Jag as well. But the Aston Martin V12, come on. I think everybody has a little special place for that car in their heart. But man, oh, excuse me. That Jag is very aggressive on that traction control, though, which is kind of interesting. Could be affecting the attack there that Ollie has towards Abner Pena, as Pena is looking very comfortable in the V12 Aston. As I say that, he washes a bit wide. That could potentially be an invalidation there. Does need to be a little careful with that. Pick up 4 of those, and you'll have a nice talk with the marshals in the pit lane, of course, with a drive-through penalty. Battling between Darren Thomas and Narasimhan here. Narasimhan going to make it firmly by Lakshmi. Ahead in Maggots and Beckett's. And Darren Thomas behind. Let's take a look at the Jagger Jag here. This will be the first car of the night that we take a look at, and as you would have expected, everybody, well, yes, it is exactly what it is named. The McJagger Jag here. Jagger G3 with an awesome Trackalicious logo. Nice purple and pink touch. I actually really like that. Is going to keep the battle on there with Narasimhan. Definitely plenty of liveries here tonight to keep our eyes fully satiated. Let's take a look here. Where was the one livery that I really... Yes, here it is. John Hawley's. I think this is the livery that everybody wants to take a look at. The Taylor Slow Tour 23. Driving the 2015 Bentley and putting in more than likely a couple hours work on this livery for this one race. Gotta give credit where credit's due here. Unfortunately, I cannot give credit to Lizzie's livery as it wasn't uploaded. Oh no, I went to the wrong side of the car! Oh my goodness, what an amateur mistake. The cameraman needs to be fired. Except I'm the cameraman. I have officially broke all immersion. I know the Bentley's right-hand drive. There's no excuse. Darren Thomas is in the pits. Kamal Kjetazovic is going to get by. He has not made his pit stop yet as well. I was actually wondering where he went. He fell down a little bit through the field in that Crazy Rabbits V12. Cronotis here with a Jag as well. You can see the Gradient Trackalicious livery with a Jeremy Clarkson face plastered onto it. Very nice. 2 Jeremy Clarkson faces plastered onto it. And of course, they are flying true with the car, both of them. Look at that. Attention to detail from Professor Cronotis. Now, hopefully the Jag is on the right-hand side, or left-hand side, I mean. It is. All right. Where is Mike Burkov? Mike Burkov, I think, ended up going into the pits. Did he not? Let's see. Where is Mike Burkov? As we can pull up the big HUD. He's going to be in P8 in that Gallardo. He has not made his pit stop yet. We also need to get that full onboard lap. Can't forget about that. The number 24 McLaren. That's going to be Jace Wright. He's on a little bit of a gap right now. We'll keep an eye on the John Hawley. Maybe Jace here. He'll catch up in a minute. He's quite close behind. The 623 of Rally Duce is going to be off, unfortunately. 621, excuse me. Returns to garage. Looks like that might be the end of race 1 for Raleigh. And a full onboard lap for Burkov as well. All right, we'll tackle these here in order of excitement. Mike Burkov is currently not in a battle. He's getting chased down a little bit here. We also need to keep an eye there on the 24 McLaren, of course, of Jace Wright. Jace Wright is gaining. Let's pop on board here with Jace as he is going to start a lap. Coming through left field into Woodcup sweep. Heading on to the start finish straight. Massive moment of oversteer there. You can see Jace Wright, the controller king in the 24 McLaren. You can see the very rapid movement with the wheel. Heading into the first corner now. Milking the cow is Jace Wright. Getting on the throttle nice and early, though, as he heads towards one of the most famous corner complexes in the world. Maggots and Beckett's in for the first corner, just to tilt it in flat out. Now, down a gear into 5th. Going to be on the brakes hard here, down to 3rd to get the rotation of the car. A little bit too deep there. Down to 2nd. It all happens so quickly. Nice short shift to 3rd to gain that traction. Up into 4th now. It's going to be flat out as you use all the track. Try to keep as straight of a line as possible. Stop, go 30. Picked up for Pena and Ollie Raza. I think they pit at the same time, and Ollie must have followed Pena into the pits. They both are race leaders. Have a stop, go 30. That is going to shake things up massively tonight, folks. Heading into the Bell Hairpin, way deep we go. Gonna have to attack that next apex really aggressively. Washes wide as a result through onto the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight. Now through Abbey big jerks of the steering wheel. Jace having to tune this car to a very oversteery setup. That way he can catch the spin, basically. That's what allows him to get his rotation. As we come into the farm and village section now, going to be trying to clip that inside corner there and get on the throttle as early as you can. Trying to maximize minimum speed through that corner, as your exit is so important as you head on to the back straight here at Silverstone. Down the Wellington we go, heading towards Brooklands, braking at that left-hand board. It's going to be a little too much brakes going into it. The car getting very jerky under braking now. That is such a tough corner complex there, Brooklands through Luffield. You want to get on the throttle as early as you possibly can, but as a result, your car is going to want to understeer so wide that you have to prevent that from happening by compromising the initial corner. Basically, it's compromising 3 corners in advance to set up for that one. Big snap of oversteer there for Jace as well. Definitely struggling with that McLaren. Take a look here as Abner Pena and Ali Raza, like I said, our 2 race leaders, picking up that penalty this early on is going to hurt them massively. Lex Industries Racing, thank you very much for the follow, and good evening to you. We will also get that full onboard lap of Mike Burkov as we see Ali Raza coming into the pits to serve his penalty along with Pena as well, Abner Pena. Taking a look at Aaron Miller in the Viper Racing GT3. He's looking quite strong. A little bit of a pack here, battling with Alex Freeman and Keith Bull. We'll touch in with him in a bit. Actually, that's Casey Swanseeger. Mike Burkov is in the pits, though, and in P37. I'm not sure if Mike Burkov has retired. He's been in the pits for 184 seconds. I think that is going to be Mike calling a close to this race. I unfortunately missed that. If you would like Josh to move that to somebody else, you can. Or you could wait to the next race. That's also cool. Either way does not bother me. Did they pick up... Did Pena and Raza pick up another... Okay, no, they just haven't cleared it yet. The stop-go, or the Silverstone pit lane is quite long. And is this on PC or console? This is a PC league here at Trackalicious. All of our stuff that we have offered can be found over on SimGrid. Why do I never type that command? Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Lex, I would recommend going and checking out our friends over at Box 3. They offer some really awesome console leagues, both I think PS4 or PS5, excuse me, and Xbox One. So I'd highly recommend going and check them out for some leagues. I think they have those going, or at least if they're not going now, they'll be starting relatively soon. I don't know if we have any box people in chat that can confirm or deny that for me. As the action on track has come to a slight lull. Of course, a bit further down, there is no rest for the wicked whatsoever. Ali Raza is attacking Keith Bull. Abner Pena actually has fallen behind Ali Raza at some point here. Maybe during that stop-go 30, a little bit slower on it. But Ali fighting tooth and nail here, trying to get by. Bull is trying not to hold these guys up, it seems. I think he knows the pace there. Ali Raza and Pena are pushing extremely hard through those corners and basically pushing Keith Bull out of the way. Side by side into the final corner complex we go. Ali Raza going to keep the lead for now, but we see Pena under threat from Bull behind. And Aaron Miller looking to join the party as well. Definitely don't count Miller out just yet. I am Mike Nause, Lex. Thank you. I appreciate it. Unfortunately, alone here in the booth tonight, normally joined by some other lovely commentators, but one of them is out on track tonight, so that explains that one. A few of them as well just not able to join. But Lizzie Alisea currently sitting down in P36, my fellow commentator. Unfortunately, crazy for cats, I do not have the livery from Lizzie, and I apologize. Well, it wasn't uploaded correctly. It is what it is, unfortunately, but a lot of work going into that, I know, and not able to show it off here tonight. And I do apologize. It isn't my fault, but I still apologize. And Lolly throwing some energy the way of her mom. Lizzie out there, out on track. Liz as well. Can't count out David, her brother. Currently doing quite well. Had a bit of an incident earlier on. Ended up in the kitty litter. Has recovered in P33. Let's take a look at David's livery here. As it's the Mr. Seeks. I'm actually not familiar. This is definitely some sort of cartoon. I'm not familiar with what this is referencing. I'm sure somebody in chat will light me up momentarily for that. You got the awesome Noobs R Us livery logo as well, which has recently changed, I noticed. I'm not sure if that's official or not. And Lolly throwing energy the way of David as well. Got the right side of the car this time. Side-by-side action here from Aaron Miller, though, and Keith Bull. As Keith has actually managed to... No, he's been ahead. Keith is holding on for right now, but Aaron is is attacking. We still have a full onboard lap for Mike Burkhoff. I have not heard anything back from Josh yet, so we'll just have to save that one for the next race. You wish you had this much livery customization on console? Yeah, PC, no offense, PC is superior here when it comes to ACC. Don't mean that rudely, but it just is. Zane Blisket here in P12 battling with Eric the Boss Kakassian. Number 64, Aston Martin in the 64th Studios. Going to be chasing down the likes here of the Trackalicious Jag, the Armenian driver here. Going to be trying to hold on. Heading into Abbey here. Going to be able to do so for now. Cronotis in the Trackalicious Jag 2. Maybe not so lucky, but Jace Wright, he most certainly is not as lucky as he is facing the incorrect direction here. What has happened? This might be an unforced error, and it looks like it is. Heading towards Abbey now. Is it going to be too much curb on the inside? He has a clip onto the grass on the inside, and he bottoms that McLaren out. A very low riding car hits those curbs on the under tray, and as a result ends up facing the wrong direction. And as we rejoin, he's slipping and sliding around like an ice skater. Not quite fully under control of the car. Is able to catch it, but Zane, he is going to be taking that lawnmower livery that we saw from Narasimhan and making it his own here. Let's see, was there contact? Looks like there may have been, because I think that is Eric the Boss Kakos there, and oof, a little bit deep into the corner. I think there definitely space. Zane coming in contact with Eric, unfortunately. Sparrow, welcome, welcome. And Sparrow overslept, missing out on the slow car classic here tonight. Side by side, though, we see, is that Kamal Kiatazovic and Tony Danzig? They're going to be heading at it in towards Cops. Inside line for the Bentley, but a little bit behind. The nose is what matters there. Kamal Kiatazovic is going to hold on for now. P10, he retains. Zane Blisket up ahead, chasing down Eric Gakassian, even after that little bit of a squabble that they had. Sticking with him quite firmly. Eric Miller behind, battling with Adam King, and Cronotis battling with Eric. It's tight action throughout the entirety of this field tonight. Silverstone, 3.6 miles here, and we can see we have a car pretty much on every single part of it, more or less, and almost every single one of them is in a battle. Extremely awesome spectacles to see here tonight. I heard a car washing off into the grass there momentarily. Doesn't look like anything has come of it. Definitely some on the tires picked up. Is this race 2 already? Nope. This is race 1 of 2 tonight. We're joining this battle here with Professor Cronotis, Eric Miller, and Adam King. Looks like Randy Gross going to be coming into the background there, the foreshadow. momentarily looking to scrape riches from the rags here. And we'll see what he can do. The 42 car, opportunistic as ever, is Chronotis. Eric Miller bump drafting Adam King through the corners. Eric Miller, an iRacing driver. That may work over there in iRacing. At ACC, it's definitely a bit opportunistic. It can end with both cars facing the wrong direction very easily. Into the first corner we go. It's going to be the inside line for Adam King. Tony Danzig wide onto the rumble strips. We're going to go 3 wide into Maggots and Beckett's here. 4 wide into Maggots and Beckett's, and that will never work as there's massive contact. Professor Chronotis ends up into the barrier. All the drivers end up one after another. But my goodness, that just was, it just was never going to work, unfortunately. We'll take a look at that once again here. As the Bentley, just a little bit slower than those drivers expected, gets tagged by the Aston Martin, and no room there for Chronotis on the outside. Oh my goodness, Industries Racing, you need to go to bed. Over in the UK, it sounds almost 3 a.m. I presume you're going to be in that UK time zone. Kamal Kietazovic here. Chasing down Zane Blisket. Zane Blisket chasing down Eric Gakassian. So far, the drivers have been relatively calm with each other. Zane having a little bit of a tangle with Eric earlier on. Luckily, nothing did come of that. As it stands, though, we have an Aston Martin leading an Aston Martin that's led by a Jag. At least for P7. Up at the front, we actually have a lead change as Dan Brace has come into the pits to make his one mandatory stop. And that puts Arjun Lakshmi Narasimhan into pole position here. Juan Kairos in second. The reason we're seeing Arjun up there in pole is because we saw earlier Ali Raza along with, excuse me, who was it? Unfortunately, Abner Pena. Abner Pena with a stop-go 30 penalty. Sorry, Abner. New name to the Trackalicious League there for me. One that I'm going to have to get familiar with. Hopefully more to come as they are battling with the likes of Ali Raza. So definitely pace to be had there, and in a very old car as well. I'd love to see what he can do in some newer machinery. Woke up at 1 p.m., so this is normal. Sounds like you have a great sleeping schedule, unless you work like a graveyard shift, which fair enough. Chemo goes wide onto the gravel there. That's going to pick up some rocks on the tires. Not going to help with your braking here into the Bell hairpin. Zane Blisket, ever opportunistic. Can't get anything done just yet. Bit further up, John Hawley in that extremely pink Bentley. You can't miss him even from outer space. A little bit of bumping and banging as we go in towards Farm, I think, and Village. John Hawley gets by. That was the back marker there of Lizzie Alisea. A bit of contact for him and Will Brunner there. I think John just misjudging his exit slightly, bumps Will Brunner and does give that position and the run back. Actually gives him a lot of room.
Leaders on final lap now.
And you're in college, high school in the US. Man, you gotta work on that sleep schedule. Oh, but fair enough. If it works, if it's stupid and it works, it ain't stupid. Don't let me be the one to fix that for you. Darren Thomas in the Jagger Jag is battling with Jacob Cunningham in the insert name racing Cats Nissan GTR. I wonder if that is Jacob Cunningham's cat. If anyone can confirm or deny this, I would love to know. But if I had any predictions, this would be Jacob's cat. No Trackalicious logos on there, Jacob. Minus 1 point from me. And Lolly, definitely loving that livery. That's awesome. As well, everybody. I mean, how could you not love that livery, to be fair? Darren Thomas is getting a eye full of it as it stands. I think he wants to get a better view of it in his wing mirror, though. Looking to get ahead of Jacob Cunningham at any opportunity. Hasn't been able to do so just yet. Jag is just so aggressive on that traction control. You can see Darren Thomas compared to Ali Raza has it in TC2, and you can hear the difference as he gets on the throttle. The Jag for Ollie was already kicking in very early. That Jag, though, under the foot of Darren Thomas comes on almost immediately. If not, it comes on immediately. The leaders finish the race. Oh my goodness. Nara Simon comes across the line for P1. 30 minutes has already elapsed, I guess. My bad. That happened pretty quick. Great job to Arjun Lakshmi Narasimhan for the win. The 45. Aston Martin. Juan Kairos going to be in P2. The number 12 McLaren. Dan Brace in the Ironman McLaren. Number 46 taking P3. Miguel Astiazaron in P4. The Mexican driver next to Will Brunner in 5th position. John Hawley takes home 6th. Eric Akasian in 7th. Zane Blisket in 8th. Kamal Katazovic in 9th. Adam King in 10th. Alrighty, Lex. You have a great night. Take it easy and enjoy the replay if you do check it out. That was an epic race 1 here for Silverstone. There are still drivers coming across the line, of course. Alex Freeman to the line. Actually, I think I missed a photo finish. Caleb Dimmock and Casey Swanseeger. I don't think I'm going to be able to go back. Let's take a look here. As my timing charts are showing a photo finish, but it doesn't look like it from this angle. No, it most certainly is not. No photo finish there for Caleb Dimmock or Casey Swanseeger. We get ready to head over into the session. Like I said, Nara Simon taking first, Juan Kairos in second, and Dan Brace in third. We're going to pop back into the booth, everybody. Welcome back as we wait for this session to finish up here. It looks like it has done so basically immediately. We're going to head over into the second qualifying here where we get ready for race 2. What a thriller and what a great job from the drivers up front. The Indian driver taking the win here at race 1 here at Silverstone. What a drive he's had as well. The Brazilian in P2 and then Dan Brace bringing up third. How is everybody doing so far? Now we're going to have some of these drivers filing in to talk about their race. Maybe just check in on how they did. Love to hear some of their input. How was race 1? Any drivers of the classic or slow car special here tonight? We're going to have 1 minute of setup changes in the pit phase here. It's going to be 20 minutes for the total time allotted in qualifying, 10 minutes per. We're going to have 10 minutes for the odd plates that are going to be out first, I think. Don't quote me on that. Might see the evens out. I think it's the odd plates out first. Hey, V6 Scott's arms hurt. GTR is vicious. Fair enough. And Eric saying, "Bwah. A sweaty race." Yes, indeed. Battling. Nice and even for you had a great qualifying as well. Got to give you credit there, Eric. Qualifying definitely better than the race result. Let's see if we can see that carry over into this session. Definitely want to keep an eye on for this one. We've seen some awesome side-by-side action, too, throughout Maggots and Beckett's. I could not believe 4 wide into Maggots and Beckett's momentarily. It didn't work, of course. Shocker. Qualified 14th and ended 7th. I think he qualified 5th. You qualified 5th in the first session, didn't you? And then you got overtaken by a bunch of people. Hey, AV6 Scott, your arms are going to be noodles after this. Can't skip arm day. You got to be more like Nate Lamlin. turn that force feedback up to maximum. The cars, though, are going to be out on track. It's going to be the even numbers first. Ollie Raza, Tony Danzig. Ollie Raza is going to be the first one out in that neon green Jag, the number 30 here, Raza Motorsports. I like to call that High-Vi, the High-Vi color. You know he's going to have a nice and safe race. He's wearing high visibility paint. Therefore, he will be healthy and safe throughout the entirety of it. It's confirmed. OSHA approved. Didn't change it from your GT4 setup. Yeah, the GT3s definitely are going to have a bit more feedback in terms of wheel input. You got more downforce, which means you're a bit more connected to the floor. It's going to give you a bit more of that feel in the wheel, no doubt. Maybe want to lower it a Newton meter or two throughout the next session, maybe. Definitely one to keep an eye on in the future. Though in the future, why don't we pop down into the session real quick. In the future here, why don't we take a look at what's to come? As not a lot of this is on SimGrid just yet, but we are going to be releasing it soon enough, so make sure you keep an eye on it. Some of it is. As it stands, we have our Rookie GT4 Championship. That's going to be coming up soon enough. You can see Silverstone is going to be race 1, October 23rd. That's going to be the next Rookie Series. We still have a Rookie Series going underway. We're going to have, I think, one more race, 2 more races? Was it the penultimate race last time? Or what is this one going to be the penultimate? Let me double check. But nonetheless, we're bringing back the Porsche Cups, everybody, by popular demand. The Porsche Cup Championship is going to be coming back on the SimGrid as a support series for our GT3 Championship on Sunday nights. And one more at Donington. So we had our penultimate race, of course, last time around, and Donny Park is going to be next. AV6 Scott going to be one of the rookies to drive out there. That is going to be coming up, like I say. That isn't it, though, because, of course, we also have our M2 reverse grid that we're going to be doing on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. That's going to be October 18th, race 1 at Kyalami. You can see these calendars are just absolute corkers. Great job to the community for voting these in. Of course, every single track is voted in by the community. You also have our special events. Our Slow Car Classics on September 20th. Unfortunately, the times are not listed. That needs to be modified, Eric. I forgot to mention that to you. We need some times for these events here. The dates are going to be listed on SimGrid. The Hyperclock race is going to be out on SimGrid for signups already. But once again, we'll take a look at... the first calendar, and just take a look at some of these tracks out there as we have for the GT3 Championship. Massano, Paul Ricard, Brands Hatch, Nürburgring, Hungaroring, Spa, Watkins Glen, Bathurst, and the GT4 Rookie Series is just amazing. Silverstone, Massano, Laguna Seca, Nürburgring, Brands Hatch, Suzuka, Zandvoort, and Kyalami as the season finale. What a calendar. Why don't we touch on the action, though, that we have going on here tonight, as that is all in the future. Tonight is what matters. Currently, sitting on pole position is Ollie Raza with a 2-minute dead, 0.39. Are we going to see the 159s? I wasn't expecting to see any 159s here tonight. Ollie Raza is potentially looking to line it up. Why don't we ride on board here with him? We still need to get the onboard lap with Mike Burkov as well. Definitely can't forget that. He'll be out. Should be out this session, actually. Isn't, though. A little bit of a moment of oversteer there mid-apex for Ollie Raza as he came through the chicane. Now onto the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight. In through Abbey we go, just clipping that green curb. Gonna be flat out here, trying to keep as far left as you can get, braking in a straight line, trying to keep that wheel as straight as possible. Clip the apex to run a little bit deep there, but not too deep, as you have to slam back right there and get set up for your next apex on to one of the most important parts of the track here, of course. The Wellington Straight, flat out, heading towards Brooklands. Brooklands, one of the most tricky quarter complexes out there. Braking at that left-hand turn board, getting down into second gear. We're going to probably go into first as we approach this apex. No, we're going to hold... Okay, we are. Going to downshift to first to get that rotation. Short shift to second to get that traction, planting that power nice and early to wash wide onto the curbs. Do not want to touch that grass. Trying to dive onto the racing line there. Cut the curbs. Use as much of the track as you can to come across the line. It's not going to be into the 159s, but it is going to be an improvement. 2 minutes, 0.2 for Ollie Raza. Abner Pena. Definitely want to keep an eye on here. Potential pole position lap. We'll see. Is going to be in the slipstream, or was at least in the slipstream there from the car in front. That is a Nissan GTR. It looks like with a big old wing on the back. To the line. Is it going to be enough for Pena? Comes across, and it's going to be a 2 minutes, 0.48. Would have been enough for pole position if Ali Raza hadn't improved on the last lap. 2 tenths, I guess 23,000 or 23 hundredths is the time between the two of them. Bit further back, Professor Kernodis looking to make his mark in these charts as well. The Jags traction control you can hear kicking in from a mile away though. TC2 for Professor Kernodis is going to be coming down the back straight as well. Heading towards Brooklands. Does get the car stopped in time. A little bit deep, though. See, has to turn very hard right. Full lock on the throttle there. That traction control kicking in very early. Washes wide. Definitely some time on the table there for Kernodis in that final sector. It's going to be a 2 He was 7 tenths up this lap. Is going to only improve by 2 tenths this time around, unfortunately. Still, at least one more lap to go. Potentially 2 if he does not mess around. Ali Raza looking to improve his timing even more so. Can he drop into the 59s? That's going to be the question. Heads to the line. It's going to be 25 hundredths off the pace for, or not off the pace, 25 hundredths off of a 159. Lizzie, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to download them tonight. It's just... the way the new folder, or the way the folders are set up, I didn't quite get it in time. There was too many of them, and I couldn't quite get it while doing it. Like I said, I do apologize for that, but in the future, we gotta have them uploaded, and we can double check in the future if you want, if you really want to make sure. But definitely be double checking that and make sure they're working from the Google Drive. And Scott thinks he messed his up. I think I saw yours, Scott. Nope. You messed yours up too. Oh, they changed it. Yep. That'll do it. But... like I say, just in the future, you got to double check on those, and we'll make sure we get those and get them the proper inspection that they need. Unfortunately, there was a driver. Oh, he actually is out there tonight. We had 41 drivers at the start of race 1. We're down to 35 at the start of race, or at the end of the first stint of qualifying. Hopefully we get a few of those drivers back. Potentially due to disconnects. Not sure. That's quite a sizable drop-off, though. 10 minutes has fallen. We're going to see the even plates now end their qualifying session and see the odd plates come out. A few had to drop, unfortunately. Yeah, that is too bad. Still 35 drivers on the grid, though. No shortage of action. Will Brunner isn't going to come across the line, is going to practice his pit entries there. Seems as not many drivers are on an improvement. I take that back. Alex Freeman, he's on an absolute flyer here. Currently sitting in P last on the timing charts, 4/10 behind David Alicea. But I predict that's going to change here relatively shortly. As he comes down the Wellington, heading towards Brooklands. Brooklands quickly turns into Luffield, which very slowly turns into Woodcut Sweep. This corner all about patience and waiting to get on the throttle. Very close to the curbs there. Definitely could have had a bit of a wider berth into that corner. Pick up a couple, maybe at least a half a tenth through that corner. To the line, it's going to be a full second gain and 1 position. Alex Freeman does gain the position there onto David Alicea. We're going to see Professor Kenotis, the last driver, out on track for the even plates. Traction control is just brutal for that Jag. To the line, going to be a few positions gained there. Kenotis going to be up into 4th position here at the end of the first qualifying. Not a bad result whatsoever. We have the Indian driver, though, of Arjun Lakshmi Narasimhan in the mint chocolate lawnmower starting his lap. We can take a look at this livery as I can see where it got its name from. Every single brand of mint chocolate chip you can probably think of is on this. That's not true. I can think of a couple that aren't on here, but that's beside the point. All of the mainstream ones got that Tillamook, the Breyers, the Dryers, got Baskin Robbins in there. We're just looking at the top of a car right now. That's not that interesting. Let's actually look through the driver's eye perspective here as Arjun as he tries to tackle this lap. Well, actually, he hasn't started his lap. We also have the 5.5 Motorsport, number 55 of Randy Gross, excuse me, in the Optimize McLaren here. Awesome livery. You can tell some work has gone into this one. Excellent work there. Like I say, it's so awesome to see the amount of effort that people are putting in for a one-off race. They may never drive this car again, yet they are putting in the effort tonight to show it off here in front of you guys. So big props to the drivers for putting in the work to show off tonight on stream. It's so cool to see. Daniel Lund? He's American. Probably Lund. He's German. He has a German flag on his car. Definitely Lund. The number 1 retire young star. He's going to be starting his lap, in fact. Or rather, finishing his first flyer, at the very least. Comes across the line for P15, starting a new one, though. Narasimhan is going to be trying to throw his leg out there to contend for pole position. We'll see what he can get done. 1.3 seconds is the gap. He's got a lot of work to do. Abner Pena did manage, I think I missed that. I don't even know if I said that. Managed to sneak in a lap at the end, I think, with a 2 minutes, 0.4. No, that was the lap that he said at the beginning. Just a little slow sometimes. Not him, me. Abner Pena has been out of this world so far. Jacob Cunningham in the GTR. Can ride on with him here. Of course, the Nissan GTR, an absolute nerd machine. Built in a hermetically sealed laboratory, got nitrogen-filled tires, has every single electronic gazmo and anything, gadget, that's the word I was looking for, gizmo and gadget that you could ever think of in this car. And one of the best launch controls ever for the time when it came out. Definitely has been outclassed since. Nissan GT-R not quite up to modern day standards. A little bit heavy, a little bit lacking in the downforce department, and a little bit lacking in the power department as well. But when you're on a track with all cars that have exactly the same properties, it results in some incredible racing, which we've seen tonight. Lizzie Alisea here on a great lap, 1.1 seconds up. Currently in P last. Looking to improve. Heading towards the end of the hangar straight here. Gets on the brakes down into second. A little bit deep, very deep. In fact, has to get on the brakes mid-corner, unfortunately. Very deep into the final as well. This could be a setup for her next lap, potentially, if she gets a really cracking exit onto the Lewis Hamilton straight. Excuse me, Sir Lewis Hamilton straight. It is going to be an improvement. Not enough for a position. Definitely, though, time to be had here. She set up that lap beautifully. Driver I want to take a look at in terms of liveries is Alexio Gappa here. The driver from Zimbabwe in the clutch and gas. Lovely African geometric pattern here. Gold and black, befitting a champion. Currently in P last overall. Hasn't set a time yet. But an excellent, excellent livery here from Alexio. Really showing that he is going to be a future livery wizard. This, of course, is his first livery, to my knowledge. Oh, and Forzy joining the chat. Welcome. Hopefully everything's all good with that emergency. Alexio having a little bit of an emergency as well, needing a swift change of pants after having a big moment in Maggots and Beckett's. Definitely testing the structural fortitude of his underwear there. Eric Gakosian to the line. It's going to be P5 still. Make that P6. Darren Thomas coming in with a very strong time. Not quite able to take pole position, though. In fact, not even able to get within a second of Ollie Raza. Ollie on another planet this time around. We're good. Don't apologize, Ashley. You had an emergency. Real life happens, brother. It's all good. Appreciate you making the attempt to even make it out here in the chat, you know? Real life is always the priority, as of course sim racing is real life. We all know this. No, not really. But hopefully you and your mom are doing all right. Arjun looking to gain some time here, but not quite in the battle for the pole position. Gonna have 26 seconds left, as he is gonna come across the line with some time remaining. The V12 will have one more trip around Silverstone in this qualifying session before we move on to our 45-minute race here tonight. Nara Simon gains a position on Darren Thomas. Third fastest for the 45 car, and did get across the line in time. Is going to have a chance to improve even further. Darren Thomas will not have that opportunity. The next car to come across the line will be the 55 of Randy Gross. Was up 3/10 at the end of the hangar straight. Now coming out of Woodcut Sweep. Is dead even with a delta, losing a lot of time through that final corner complexes. Of course, these tires are going to be getting to that cooked limit. Of course, pushing every single lap, not giving the tires a break. There are a few straights here at Silverstone which allow you to cool your tires off. Just your brakes and your tires in general get to cool. It's a very, not a low wing circuit. A lot of drivers are going to be running quite high wing, especially for that Maggots and Beckett sectors. You're going to be wanting to have the most planted car possible for that. Arjun here to the line. Is he going to be able to contend? No, he's not to the line. That's different line. Wrong line. That is the Formula 1 start finish straight there. My bad. And Blue Wolf, yes, exactly. Exactly. Nara Simmons here, down the hanger straight for the final time here tonight. We also have the 317 to the line. Wait. Oh, I hit the 7 for some reason. Not sure where the 317 ended up. Wow. Traction control really kicking in there. Arjun heavy on the right foot. Oh, but he goes off, but he keeps it valid somehow. It's going to be dead even though for his time. Not going to be able to improve. And that is going to be the end of qualifying 2. We're going to get ready here to move on to the race, where we have 59 seconds to meet our drivers. So we're going to have to do this quick, folks. Obviously, we're not going to get through it in that time, but we are going to get rolling on it right away here. As though I'm not that right away. We're not quite that ready yet. Funky Beat's getting a little too excited. But as we have it, starting in that infamous pole position, it's going to be Ollie Raza in the Raza Motorsports. The number 30 Jag, excuse me, not Aston Martin, the number 30 Jag. Abner Pena going to be taking P2, the number 34 car next to Arjun Lakshmi Narasimhan in P3, the number 45 car. Darren Thomas going to be lining up in row 2 to close that row out. The number 613 car, 4th fastest next to Juan Kairos in P5. The Brazilian driver going to be in the McLaren here tonight. Eric Gakassian, 6th fastest next to Professor Konotis, who is going to be in 7th. The Tracklicious team next to each other there. Very, very fitting. We also have John Hawley here in P8. Will Brunner is going to be 9th fastest next to Aaron Miller in P10. Anthony Macho Camacho in 11th position. The S&B Racing V12 Aston Martin. Daniel Lund in the Lamborghini Gallardo here, number 1, next to Randy Gross in P13. Brad Severs, 14th fastest, next to Jacob Cunningham in P15. Christopher Larande is going to be 16th fastest, with a much better qualifying this time around than last. Caleb Dimmock, 17th overall. Reggie King, 18th in the Brondo. We'll have to check that livery out here in game once we get rolling. The Carl's Jr., it looks like inspired livery, something along those lines at least. In a P18, Alex Afonso, going to be 19th fastest. Tony Danzig in P20 next to David Santos in 21st. Zane Blisket bringing home 22nd. Keith Bull in 23rd next to Casey Swanseeger, who will be rounding our 24th slot out there. Alex Freeman in P25. David Alicea going to be 26th fastest in the Bentley next to Scott Sullivan in 27th. Ben Beams, 28th in the Good Smile Racing Nissan GTR. Lizzie Alicea with a pit start here tonight. Alexio Gappa is going to be starting in P30. The Zimbabwean driver, Yeager Karu, going to be in P31. Mike Burkov in the Lamborghini Gallardo as well here, going to be in P32 in the 74 car. Rally Duche in the pits next to Jace Wright in P34. Going to be driving that Garage 59 McLaren. And last but not least, it is going to be Ashley Forrester joining the grid just in time here in the Petronas Aston Martin Racing in P35. We have 35 cars on the grid here for race 2. Of course, a 3.6 mile outlap here. 18 corners, 8 to the left, 10 to the right. Some thrilling action here at Silverstone. We come down the Lewis Hamilton straight as it stands. This is where the Formula 1 cars would make their start. This time around, though, not going to be for us. Drivers need to be very careful as well not to drive into the wrong pit lane, as that is probably not a mistake we'll be seeing in this series. It's definitely a mistake I have made before, especially drivers that play multiple games in different racing series, where maybe they play the F1 game and they're not able to, or rather they start on that start-finish straight, so they don't quite have the full muscle memory down of the old pit lane versus the new pit lane. Definitely could be an interesting one tonight. I think most drivers, though, are going to be pretty practiced. But you never know. Anything can happen in racing, and it normally does. 45 minutes on the clock here tonight for race 2. We had an absolute thriller of race 1, where we saw Nause take home the victory. Juan Kairos as well on the podium. Can they do it again? That's going to be the question. The driver's going to be getting ready here. 2x2 Nose Arc formation as they come around the penultimate corner. Forgot it's a later start here at Silverstone, so I'm beginning my build up a little bit early. This is the calm before the storm here at Silverstone. The driver's now rounding it through Woodcut Sweep onto the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight, where we are going to begin heading down towards Copse for turn 1, one of the fastest corners in racing. It's going to be Ali Raza on pole position, Pena in second. I'm Mike Nause in the booth as we get ready to go green here for race 2, heading down to the Silverstone side, where we're going to see the lights red as we get ready to go green here at Silverstone, and it's going to be a much better start for Pena. He's going to be challenging down into the first corner on the outside. Ali Raza late on the brakes, no Abner, not able to get by. Ali closing that gap and forcing him onto the rumble strips. Behind, though, we see a big gap as Nara Simon and Darren Thomas have spread massively early on here. John Hawley behind, everybody going nip and tuck into Maggots and Beckett's. It seems no four-wide action this time around. Everybody a little bit more respectful. We see the Jolly Rancher Bentley trying to make moves onto the Cat-inspired Nissan GTR. So far, though, everybody is green. Heading down the hangar straight we go. Going to be the Gallardo on the outside of Copse here. Going to be trying to get a move done. Not going to be able to make anything happen, though, this early on. Of course, lap 1, the best opportunity. I said Copse again. It's Stowe. Oh, and that's going to be a car off. Was that Eric Gakosian that is off, unfortunately? Rejoins the track side by side there with Anthony Camacho. He is going to be fully by. We see some more side-by-side action behind between Aaron Miller as well as Brad Severs. Brad looks like he is going to have the advantage into the next corner. Inside line for yes, he does get it done. And that's going to be a collision in the back. We see the 24 and the 76 getting involved, and that's Jace Wright and Caleb Dimmock. Big send from Aaron Miller as he has forgotten that the middle pedal exists momentarily. He managed to find it in time, though. Well, a little bit after the time. Gets it stopped after the corner, rejoins safely, but straight on he goes, and great avoidance there from those drivers. Keeping an eye on the rearview mirror, and Aaron Miller doing a good job to shoot himself straight off. Randy Gross not able to get a move done onto Christopher Laronde just yet. Abner Pena is falling off of Ollie Raza as it stands. Ollie 1.3 seconds ahead of Abner currently. Going to be a move for P13 here. Laronde under some pressure. Up a bit further ahead, we see Eric the Boss Gakosian trying to recover from that mistake as he did come out alongside Anthony Macho Camacho. He's going to be side by side with them again as we head towards Maggots and Beckett's. Come out of the first corner. It's going to be a great drive as well from Daniel Lund. He is going to have the full advantage as he's fully ahead before the apex even begins. Anthony Macho Camacho falling down the grid for right now. Not looking so macho tonight. Maybe got a little bit of a setup error. Started in P11 and still is in P11. So I suppose maybe being a little bit reductive of that result. but definitely expect a little bit more from Anthony Camacho. He's a very talented driver. You can see these drivers barely separated by anything. Zane Blisket pressuring Reggie King here. Reggie King is going to be in that Brondo Bentley. Zane in the Aston Martin V12. 64th Studios looking to get a move. A little bit of left and right action from Reggie King as we come through the farm sector now. Big gains for the Aston Martin under braking. Definitely something to be said there. Zane Blisket much more confident on the brakes there than Jacob Cunningham. Or excuse me, than Zane Blisket more confident than Reggie King. Zane going to have a good slipstream and a good exit here onto the Wellington. He's going to have the inside line as well. Coming into the first Brooklands here. Next up, Luffield. Not going to be able to get it done yet. Maybe setting it up for the woodcut, but not quite. Great coverage there from the Bentley in front. Reggie King defending like a madman. Fastest lap set from Ali Raza, quickly taken by Abner Pena. Reggie King almost got taken out from behind there. Zane Blisket with an incredible run. Jinks to the side, but backs out of it last second. Tony Danzig almost capitalizes on that mistake from Zane. Not able to do so. The Jolly Rancher continues on for now. Checking on Ashley Forster, who joined late, battling with Alexio Gappa here and Jace Wright. Currently in Maggots and Beckett's is going to get a move done in mid-corner. Nice move from Ashley Forster. We're going to see Caleb Dimmock tuck out of the slipstream, try to take the outside line for Stowe here. Be an optimistic one if that does work. Raleigh is out. That's unfortunate. Is that a retire in both races? Oh, no. Riley Duche, well, I wish you the best of luck in the next race, but definitely this race not going your way. One to forget for the Lamborghini Gallardo. Definitely not the greatest car either, to be completely honest, but I admire the attempt. Oh no! Keith Bull and Mike Burkhoff have had it coming together. I've also totally forgotten to do the Mike Burkhoff onboard lap. I do apologize for that, Wes. As we see Mike following the GTR, is going to have a look. Oh, there's a McLaren off in the grass. There's a McLaren in the grass, and oh, holy big one! Mike Burkhoff didn't see him there in his mirror. He was too focused on the car in front, and quite frankly, I wouldn't expect him to. Is going to retire, it seems. Too much damage on the steering column of that McLaren. Took a big hit from the side. Yeah, somebody clip that, please. That was a good one. Tony Danzig and Casey Swanseeger, as well as Alexandre Afonso, getting involved with each other here. This is for P19. Big curb taken there from the Noobs R Us driver. Not quite going to unsettle him there. Casey, what can he do from this position? Says he's behind Tony Danzig on the timing charts, but I can assure you he isn't. Visually, he just isn't. ACC doesn't fully know what it's talking about sometimes. Switchback here from Zane Blisket. Gonna have the outside line coming into the Bell chicane, excuse me. He's gonna have the inside line as it turns back right here, and then right again. Needs to be very careful of the sausage curb on the inside, but it doesn't matter because he is fully ahead before the corner exit. 27 is gonna try to come back using Jacob Cunningham there, or that's Christopher Laronde, as a bit of an anchor. Trying to hold that position, going on an offensive-defensive look there. Of course, he had to attack to defend, is what I'm getting at, but he still attacks nonetheless, and he gets the job done. That's going to help him out massively coming on to the... onto the Wellington. It's going to help him massively, as there is going to be quite the gap now to Chris Laronde behind. Anthony Macho Man Camacho, currently in 12th, trying to gain some ground still. He has lost a position from the start. Started in P11. He's gone backwards, it seems. Had an amazing rate lap 1. Not quite able to capitalize on anything since, though. We see Darren Thomas with a yellow flag, and it looks like a retiring. The Taiwanese driver is no longer in the session, unfortunately. Randy Gross and Aaron Miller. Nothing going to happen there. Is Randy in that 5.5 Motorsport, switching back and forth on the timing charts, but he's staying in P13. I'm not sure what ACC is on about right now. Okay, it has finally updated to proper. So the timing charts on the left-hand side are now actually as they should be. Checking in up at P8 here. It's Eric Gakosian, and he is not defending right now. He is attacking. Will Brunner under some massive threat from the Jag behind. Of course, Jag drivers known for stealing silverware. Can Eric Gakosian steal this position from Will Brunner? Is going to get a little aggressive. Maybe some bumping and banging there. Nothing going to come of it just yet for Eric. Can pop on board with the Jaguar. I think is the first time I've properly said the name tonight. Yes, I do know how to say the name. Not just Jag. It is the Jaguar, of course. As we come back around the track to complete lap 5, which says something. We've been at it here for about 15 minutes. Oh, 10 minutes. All right, fair enough. Long laps here at Silverstone. Quick laps, though, for the length. Of course, probably about 70 plus, I'd probably say about 80. I think in Formula 1, it's 82% of this lap is flat out. Does that make sense? 82% of this lap is full throttle. That's what I meant to say. So here in GT cars, maybe a little bit less than that, but it still gets the point. This is a very flat, very straight, and very fast circuit. Of course, there are a few corners that you can take flat in a Formula 1 car, and you most certainly cannot take flat in a GT car, especially these ones. Also, quite the drive from Ashley Forster as he's weaving on the straight, trying to get the job done onto David Alicea. David goes to the outside, is going to give the inside line there to Ashley. Cameraman needs to wake up. There we go. He has. He catches the Petronas Aston Martin there, getting by pretty handedly. Once again, Eric Gakosian and Will Brunner having a little bit of a tangle here. Juan Kairos not far behind, keeping Eric honest at the very least. As he gains under braking there. Not quite able to line up anything just yet. Is maybe smelling a little bit of blood in the water. Hasn't quite been able to capitalize on it just yet. Definitely, though, is locked and loaded and ready to make an overtake happen at any possible opportunity. Washes wide as I say that. Add that one to the track limits count. 4 of those, and you'll be seeing the stewards. I know I said that before, but that was last race. As Zane here, coming through Maggots and Beckett's. Fast-flowing, high-speed sector in these GT3 cars. Very tricky as well. Leads you on to the hangar straight, which we're going to see Juan Kairos here potentially go for a move to Eric Gakosian in through Stowe. Wasn't able to get it. A little bit of impatience being shown there from Juan Kairos. Needs to get the job done, really. Definitely has the pace here over Eric Gakassian, but Eric is being a defensive wizard and not allowing him by whatsoever. Of course, Juan Kairos, he wishes he could just wave his magic wand and, well, quite frankly, win this race. Isn't going to happen, though. Need to dispatch these drivers with pure skill, and that alone. Touch in to our race leader here, Ali Raza, who's led the race since the beginning. Number 30 car, about 3.5 seconds ahead of Abner Pena. Also have Arjun Lakshmi Narasimhan, going to be in P3. Professor Konotis in 4th. John Hawley in 5th. And a big... Whoa, Brunner is off. Looks like there was potentially contact here. As we're back on the replay. Have a Gradient Trackalicious livery behind. The back end starts to get loose there for Will. Oh, big hit from the Jag. And that sends Will pirouetting into the grass. No fault there of Eric Gakassian. Not much he could have done, really. Does pick up some damage himself. Not going to be the most showroom-ready Jag at the end of this race. But it still drives, and that's all that matters. Getting a good eye here on Zane Blisket. Zane charging down Aaron Miller. This is going to be for P11 here. Number 64 car in the slipstream and gaining massively. What an exit we saw there from Zane. Is going to go to the outside. That's going to be the dirty line as you approach. Well, actually, it's going to be the racing line here, but once you get into the corner, it's going to be the dirty line. But I'm not sure that's going to matter. Is going to have a full nose ahead on corner exit. And is going to be almost fully ahead. Closes the gap. In fact, slams it shut into the chicane. Zane Blisket is ahead of Aaron Miller. Very clean racing from the two of these guys. Aaron is not done yet, though. He's going to be trying to come back here. Maybe make something out of nothing. We'll see. He'd like a top 10. I know that. Currently, nobody really has pit. Ashley Forster has made a pit. Darren Thomas has made a pit. I think, though, a few of those were from pit starts. Uh-oh, Alexio Gappa and Jace Wright. They've almost certainly had it coming together here. We're into Stowe. Looking good. Behind a GTR, it looks like. GTR washes wide, and wow! Rejoin right into Alexio Gappa. And then somehow, Jace Wright got involved in his own little thing. That was not between Alexio and Jace. They just both happened to spin on the exact same part of the track in two separate ways. Fair enough. Brad Severs is facing the wrong way as well. There are incidents piling up here late on in the race. We're approaching that halfway mark. I wouldn't expect fatigue to be too much of a concern just yet. But I'd be surprised if this one wasn't unforced. And yep, it looks like it was an unforced spin. The contact afterwards was no fault to the driver behind the wheel of the Aston Martin. I think that was Zane Blisket. Aaron Miller trying to get a move on to Zane. Not going to happen, though. Jacob Cunningham in the Insert Name Racing Cats-inspired livery here. Chasing down Anthony Macho Camacho for P12. This will definitely spice up at the end here as we see some of these strategies come to fruition. That is not the strategy, though, of Juan Kairos, at least what he had down on paper coming into this race. Trip to the gravel is never going to help your lap time. It's never going to help your race time. The very interesting So massive understeer into a slight bit of oversteer, but he kept his foot in it, and he kind of went off the track as a result. When in doubt, flat out, some say. That was the one case where that might not have been true. Nonetheless, Juan Kairos rejoins in 7th position. Not the overall worst result, but still not quite where he would want to be. The 75 of Alexio Gappa. Oh, big damage picked up there, and he is in the wrong pit lane. Let's keep an eye here on this Nissan GTR of Jacob Cunningham as he is chasing down Anthony Macho Camacho here. Right on board. Just give a nice little listen as we come through Magus and Beckett's here. Clipping the curb on the inside there. We see Camacho running very deep in the V12. That's going to give the run here to the GTR, but that V12 is going to have some legs in a straight line. Gaining in the slipstream is Jacob Cunningham. Isn't going to be close enough for that move, though. And Hulk, is this slow car special? This looks great. Yes, this is great. Showing some love to some cars that normally don't get any. We're seeing all sorts out there. We got Gallardos, we have GTRs, we got V12s. Currently, we're watching a battle between two of those cars, as well as the McLaren 650S, the Jaguar, and I think that is it. Bentley Continental 2015, of course, the one that I'm missing out of those. One mandatory pit stop tonight, 25-second refueling time, optional tires. We may see drivers take tires in this race. I almost certainly don't think we did in the first one. And Karu forgot to blink. Interesting. The eye's getting a little bit dried out there then. Gonna need some eye drop serum at the end of this. Some nice attempted side-by-side action here from Ashley Forrester and David Santos. Original McLaren, yes, 650S. Oh my goodness, as you could not fit a credit card there between Ashley Forrester and David Santos. You may have been able to fit a piece of paper, but not much more than that. Definitely splitting molecules there is Forrester. We also have some position changes as Eric Gakassian has come into the pits as well. Casey Swanseeger, drivers making their mandatory pit stop here tonight as we approach that halfway mark of race 2. Of course, is race 2 tonight, where we saw Arjun Lakshmi Narasimhan take the win last time around after Ali Raza and Pena ended up getting stop-go 30 penalties, very similar to what Reggie King has picked up for speeding in the pits. Reggie King will need to come into the pits within the next 3 laps, otherwise he will be disqualified. 74 car, big send here, Mike Burkov on a previous lap. Why don't we get a full onboard lap of Mike Burkov? I know it's been a while since that redemption happened, but we can at least get it now, as Mike is going to be trying to unlap himself versus the 27 car of Jacob Cunningham. I think that was a little bit of a flash of the headlights there. As we tilt into Abbey, heading towards Village now. Going to be a wide line there from the car in front covering the inside, but is it going to be too deep into the corner? That's going to be a good exit for Mike Burkov. Mike Burkov with a big send. Can he get it done? In just enough room being given for the number 27 car as they head onto the hangar straight now. Mike Burkov on the inside is going to be able to slip through. Side by side, it's going to continue down the straight. Heading towards Brooklands now. I think it is going to be the overtake for Mike Burkov. Switchback, though, from Jacob Cunningham. As this is lapped battling, this is not even for position. And wide goes Cunningham, allowing Mike Burkov to continue on here with his lap. We see a car return to the pits there from the pit entry. Not sure what that was about. We're down to 31 cars. Definitely have lost a couple here tonight. Not sure what has happened to them. 30 cars make that. I take that back. Shouldn't have said anything. Mike Burkhoff very hot into Maggots and Beckett's there. But you can see getting the car slowed nicely, using the engine braking to great effect there. Gonna have an absolute smashing exit onto the hangar straight. Has Anthony Camacho lined up in his sights. This is P5. Mike Burkhoff trying to unlap himself. Camacho, not gonna fight it. Gonna let Mike through. He sees the pace difference and he doesn't want to get tangled up in this. You can see Camacho tucking into the rear wing mirror there. Mike goes a bit deep into the chicane. Manages to keep it mostly under control through the exit though. Nicely done onto the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight. Wait a second. Is the old pit straight? Which one's the Lewis Hamilton straight? No, it's the new pit straight. Okay, yeah. The Formula 1 pit straight. I think I called the old pit straight Lewis Hamilton straight once or twice. That is my apologies. The Sir Lewis Hamilton straight is the Formula 1 starting line, of course. We also have a change in lead as Narasimhan takes the lead of this race, still yet to make a pit stop. Stop-go 30 still yet to be served for Reggie King, as well as a few picked up for Santos and Freeman. Pena is in the pits. Is he going to make it out without issue? Ollie Raza has come out. No stop-go 30 penalty this time. Looking good to potentially take the race win. We'll take a look at Camacho. He will be the next one. Jacob Cunningham in the pits. Looked like a pretty good pit entry, maybe a little hot. Some good battling here as Ben Beams gets pretty much overtaken by two cars in one corner there, it looked like. Zane Blisket and Darren Thomas getting by with ease, it seemed. Abner Pena is out. And the Puerto Rican driver is going to be out side by side with Ollie Raza, actually. Oh, my goodness. We're going to be coming into Maggots and Beckett's now. This is for position. This is the race lead potentially here. We are going to be seeing a battle for. Of course, this is P5 and 6 at the moment. But Narasimhan, Will Brunner, Aaron Miller, Anthony Camacho, all yet to pit. That is the four drivers in front. Heading into Stowe. Got it right this time. And then down to the Vale. I forgot it's called Vale, not Bell anymore. Pena, though, not quite with enough heat into the tires. Ollie Raza definitely had a great outlap, able to get maximum heat into the cores of the tires, not just the surface temp, and that is really where we're seeing the difference being made here. Is the exit speed for Ollie Raza is so much better than Abner Pena, and that's just because Ollie is able to lay that power down better this lap than Pena. Pena, of course, is going to be getting to that stride where his tires are going to be up to temperature here by the end of this lap. Silverstone, though, takes maybe a lap or two. There's so many long straights, your brakes just become ice cold here. If you end up having, well, one wrong brake ducts, that could just be race ending. And two, if you don't get enough heat into your tires early on, that could just cost you every single lap for the rest of the race pretty much. We see Aaron Miller in, Will Brunner in, and Narasimhan in. Camacho takes the lead of this race. David Alicea is behind Pena by 8 seconds. That's going to change, though, when David decides to come into the pits. Oh my goodness. Brad Sievers taking a joker lap this time around and rejoining ahead of Casey Swanseeger. They were battling for position, I think. And Brad with some fairly liberal usage of the track there. Casey, though, showing his pace, gaining quite quickly onto Brad in the corners. Confidence under braking for Casey definitely seems a bit stronger. Aaron Miller is in. David Alicea is in. Lizzie Alicea seems to be one of the drivers that has dropped from the race, unfortunately. That must have happened a little bit earlier on. One of the drivers to pop out of there that you hate to see. We're down to 29. Casey, though, not quite able to get this done just yet. Darren Thomas, is he going to be able to make it happen? Chasing down Will Brunner down the hanger straight we go. Outside line for Darren Thomas. Going to pick up a couple marbles on his tires. And Alexio also left. Yeah, Lizzie saw that. David Santos has just rejoined, it seems. Or we had one driver just rejoined somewhere. Off the track goes Casey Swanseeger, keeping it flat out, though. That's the spirit. Rejoining right behind Brad Sievers. Got taken out. Ah, it's too bad. DSQ for Reggie King. Failure to serve a penalty. Reggie King added to the list of retirements this time around. Of course, when you pick up a penalty, you have 3 laps to serve it. Otherwise, you will receive a disqualification, at least when you pick up a stop-go 30 or a mandatory pit lane entry. Of course, time penalties, you will not have to do that for. They will be served in the pit stops if there were another pit stop to be had. This time around, though, not going to happen. Some drivers definitely seeming to struggle with these older cars. Other drivers, though, seem right at home. No, Lizzie, that most certainly is not any fun. I would recommend Alexio and Lizzie report your incidents, as I think this league is stewarded. Or this isn't a league, this is a one-off race. This probably isn't stewarded then. Unfortunately, that's racing. It happens. It is, you know, it's too bad, but nothing you can do at this point. Darren Thomas here, trying to make the best of his situation. Way deep into Stowe. Is going to lose some time there on to Will Brunner as he heads towards the Vale chicane. Lizzie supporting her Noobs R Us teammates. You love to see that. Currently, the lead Noobs R Us car. Where is the lead Noobs R Us car? Is it David? David's not even in a Noobs R Us car. Where's Casey? Oh, it's Casey. There he is. P19. And Lizzie throwing some energy the way of David. We also have a battle between Aaron Miller and Jacob Cunningham. This has been heating up for a few laps now. Aaron has been closing the gap. He has finally done so. And a full onboard lap for David. Well, Alexio, luckily I got to check out your livery before you retired, or before it got damaged. Can Aaron line up an overtake here? I do not think he can. He has him in the sights, but he just can't quite pull the trigger. Let's take a look at David here. David in Sector 2 currently, heading towards Sector 3 in the farm. Gonna want to slam this over to the left-hand side of the track. Does so nicely, braking at the curb transition, riding the inside there. Just missing it a little deep into the village. Is that village or is that farm? That is the loop, of course. Farm is the first section. Yeah, the loop. Onto the hanger straight we go. Definitely could have been a little bit better of an exit there for David. Looking for the braking marker at that left-hand turn sign. Getting it stopped there into third, second, very deep. And that's going to allow Caleb Dimmock down the inside. Caleb Dimmock is going to say thank you very much, but he washes wide in the next corner. Going to have to try to go for the switchback. Can David hold on? I think he can. David holds on for now. It's going to be an incredible run, though, for Caleb Dimmock. Caleb looking to the inside of the first corner. Heading in towards Cops. He is going to get it done. David backs out. Isn't going to challenge that one. Popping back on board. David now has a target himself. A little bit deep, which as a result, you mess up on the first corner there to Maggots and Beckett's, and it compromises every single corner, especially your exit here onto the hangar straight. You can hear that Bentley winding up the engine as it gets to full chap 5th gear. It's going to go 6th gear, in fact. Braking at the curb transition. Down to 4th, down to 3rd, a little bit late there. Could have maybe broke a tiny bit later and downshifted a little bit earlier to gain maybe another half tenth or maybe even a second there for David in that corner. Now through the Vale chicane, looking fairly tidy there. A little bit deep onto the Lewis Hamilton straight there. And heading towards Cops. No, not Cops. Towards Abbey. I always do that. Every corner looks the same here on Silverstone. I love this track. Into the village. Now the loop. This is where David has some time on the table. He definitely still has some time on the table. Needs to get it a little bit further right for the entry of that corner to get a better exit here. As you can see, scrubbing a little bit of speed there onto the Wellington. David's still 8/10ths up on his previous lap. It's a good lap. Good improvements being made, but you can really see where there's some time being left on the table there for David Alicea. The other Puerto Rican driver is going to be in P2 or P3 as it stands. Anthony Camacho in P2, yet to make his pit stop. We have Abner Pena though. He will be taking the P2 back. About 7 or 8 seconds behind Ollie Raza. Aaron Miller also, I think, gained the position there onto Jacob Cunningham. We unfortunately missed it. He is now caught up with Will Brunner. Aaron's on a bit of a charge here in this closing sector of the race. 10 minutes left to go. Bit of a sprint. And it's going to be a sprint to the flag. 5 more laps. Aaron Miller had a look. Had to jam on the brakes, though. Not able to get anything done. That severely compromises his exit here onto the Wellington. Except he's still gaining. Interesting. All right. Brunner must not have had the best exit either. Expected Brunner to walk away a little bit there. Goes deep, actually, into Brooklands, and that's going to allow the 90 car here to come back potentially through Woodcut Sweep and maybe have a really good run into the first corner. Cops, one of the highest speed corners in racing here in ACC at least. Such a dangerous one to make a move on. Aaron thinks better of it. Gonna look to set it up here in the future. The 33 car has had an incident, and it looks like Brad Sievers is going to be a victim, maybe with Casey Swanseeger here. As we see the Noobs R Us car battling with a 33. What has happened? Let's get a helicam view, and okie dokie. Scott, or not Scott, excuse me, Casey keeps on it. What a recovery there from Casey after getting hit. Once again, won't make any judgments initially on that. I'm going to be honest, the camera angle, I'd need to rewatch that one again, but I'm pretty sure Casey left some space there. So, Casey may be unjustifiably getting taken out. Mistakes happen, though. Can't be too harsh, of course. Luckily, Casey came off much better than Sievers did. Whoa, Aaron closing up massively. He's just been biting at the heels. He's going for it, though, around the outside here into the village. Got a great run through farm. Deep, though, into village he goes. It's going to be an attempted switchback. He gains on the braking. The Aston Martin, in these dying moments, is looking to come alight here. The V12 firing on all cylinders down the Wellington straight, side by side. It's going to be the outside line for Aaron Miller. He was fully alongside on quarter entry here. Both drivers giving each other the respected space they deserve. The 98 car keeping the lead, though, as the 90 is not able to get in there quite yet. Once again, another lap completed between these two, and Aaron Miller is still behind. Outside line again for Aaron. Gets on the brakes early, though, backs out. Trying to find any opportunity he can. Will Brunner definitely not with the pace. Side by side into Maggots and Beckett's we go. It's going to be the outside line. It's going to turn to the inside, then back to the outside for Aaron. It's not going to happen. Gaining, though, again. This might be his best chance down the hanger straight into Stowe. Gonna get the slipstream here. Needs to be careful as well. Jacob Cunningham is catching. Aaron, I don't think wants anything to do with Jacob, to be completely honest. Nothing against Jacob. I think Aaron just has bigger ideas in mind for his position that he wants to finish in. Into Vale, bit of a squeeze there from the 98. Will, though, leaving just enough space. Very, very respectful driving from these two here. So I also want to touch up ahead on the battle between Pena and Narasimhan. Lakshmi Narasimhan has caught up on the final few laps here. John Hawley has also had a little bit of an incident and it rejoins right behind Eric Gakassian. Eric's up to 6th position. And unfortunately, as soon as we switch off the Aaron Miller-Jacob Cunningham battle, which we've been on for the past, like, 6 laps or so, at least it feels, they have a minor coming together. Let's see what happened. Big send from the number 90. Wow, Aaron severely outbroke himself there, rejoins the track, and actually hits the Nissan GTR there of Cunningham. So Will Brunner was the battle. And Aaron, unfortunately, misjudging that corner. We also have a coming together between our 2nd and 3rd place runners, Pena and Narasimhan. Narasimhan is following. We can see big contact, which forces the Aston Martin there onto the grass. The lawnmower getting its namesake there as it's taking the city council out of a job. Pena tries to get the run into Stowe, but isn't going to go for that overtake. I think he knows, or rather Narasimhan, excuse me, is ahead, actually, after that. Interesting. That was such a interesting battle, but the mint chocolate lawnmower once again proving its worth there. As Pena is going to have to settle for P3 for right now. Back behind, Aaron Miller, Randy Gross, as well as Jacob Cunningham. These three going to be going at it here. As Aaron Miller cannot seem to catch a break. He has the pace. He just always has somebody in front of him. To be fair, though, Aaron put himself in this situation. He outbroke himself there into, I think it was Village, and allowed Will Brunner to walk away 3.5 seconds ahead of them. Aaron going to be doing everything he can to get by. But what a good job from Jacob Cunningham. He doesn't cover the inside, though. Doesn't matter. He's going to go for the switchback defense on the outside. He's going to have the much better exit here on to the Wellington Straight. Is it going to be enough, though? I don't think it is. I think Aaron Miller finally has dispatched Jacob Cunningham again. Next up the road is going to be Will Brunner, but I don't think there's enough time to catch. And Anthony Camacho is in the pits to make his first pit stop of the night, first and final on the final lap, or penultimate lap at least. Definitely an interesting strategy there from Camacho. It doesn't seem like it's going to work out for him. I think the drivers that took tires earlier on for that 5-second penalty to take tires have been rewarded. Silverstone, though, not much of a tire-eating track. Lots of time for them to cool. Lots of them are just not the most high-working circuit. It's not like your Zandvoorts, you know, your extremely high abrasive, extremely high amount of corners. It's not like your Spa even, I would say. Spa being a more comparable track to this one, minus the elevation. Just all in all, a bit more cooling time. Track temp is 32 degrees, though, so it's very, very toasty here on this sunny summer day in Silverstone. John Hawley and the Taylor Slow Tour 23. Going to be battling with Eric Gakassian and Professor Chronotis in 4th position as well. Ali Raza has begun his parade lap here, 16 seconds ahead of Arjun Lakshmi Narasimhan. Side by side from up ahead, those two. That's going to be Santos and Beams. Need to be careful. They're blue flagged right now, and Eric needs to be very aware that that is the case. These two in a very intense battle. As it stands, Beams is going to be ahead. Santos going to let Eric through. And that is going to, oh my goodness, almost go into the rear view, or rear bumper there of Eric. Also letting by John Hawley. Though I do not think that was his intention necessarily there. So this is the issue with letting drivers by, is now Ben Beams, he is holding up Eric Gakassian, but also is pulling ahead. Whoa, what has happened here between Casey Swanseeger and Caleb Dimmock? The Noobs R Us team having a little bit of an incident. Oh, coming from downtown, Casey is just unlucky tonight. 76 car from a different postal code. Caleb Dimmock, unfortunately, there takes out Casey Swanseeger. Leaders on the final lap. I know, thank you. You've already said that, in-game director. Ali Raza is now rounding the final turn sequence through Brooklands. Then Luffield. And to round out the final corner here tonight for Ali Raza is going to be Woodcut Sweep to bring home the victory in race 2. Ali Raza takes it. The Jag in the slow car special here tonight. What a drive. Arjun Lakshmi Narasimhan going to come across the line for second in the V12 Aston Martin. Abner Pena takes third. The British top 3 in terms of the podiums, or in terms of the constructors, excuse me. John Hawley and Eric Gakassian to the line. Oh my goodness, I missed it. They have switched position. John Hawley has taken Eric Gakassian at the line. We need to go back and watch this, folks. Let's see what has happened. John Hawley is behind in the very pink Bentley. So Eric here on the final corner just got a bit of a moment, and what a drive. Did he run out of fuel? Did Eric just got a terrible exit and let John by. It almost looked intentional. I don't know if that was intentional or not. Very interesting finish there for Eric and John. To the line, Randy Gross to round out the top 10 there. Jacob Cunningham in front. Zane Blisket takes 9. Darren Thomas in 8th. Still a few more drivers, though, to finish here tonight. What a race, though, and what a fun race this has been. Casey Swanseeger here, going to be one of the final few to finish. Oh, he gave you the position back and shouldn't have. Oh, so some very, very, very fair racing between the two of you guys. Fair enough. Very respectful, I guess is more the word. And yeah, Forzy from last to 15th. What a drive there. Definitely most positions gained in total. 20 positions. Absolutely awesome. As it stands, though, we're going to head over into the booth and wait for some of our drivers to head up into the podium. Welcome back, everybody, as we are here in the booth. We're going to pull some replays up in the background while we wait and wrangle up our drivers here. Let's grab Narasimhan as well as Ollie Raza and Pena if they are around. Got the race start up in the background here as we wait. We have Ollie Raza in the green room. Let's see, we can get Narasimhan in there as well. I'm going to rudely move him without his permission. And then also waiting on one more, if they would like to. So let's grab both drivers here as we have it. We have, why don't we start with our first place finisher, Ollie Raza, at least first place in race 2. Why don't you talk us through what happened there in race 1, Ollie?
Race 1. It was kind of hilarious. I mean, we were having a good battle, I think Pena and I, and it was a back and forth, but then I was just really close up behind him going into the pit, so I couldn't see the pit line. And apparently he sped in the pit lane too, so we both sped at the same time. So then yeah, we both got stop and goes.
Yeah, as a
So
result, you guys came out of the pits at about the same spot, which was really cool to see, I will say, even with your stop-go 30s, so the battle
yeah,
wasn't over there.
yeah. As we were exiting the pits, I think we touched a little too. We were side by side, but I let him go. But yeah, it was a good race between Pena and I. But yeah, got bounced back in race 2. Got the win.
Absolutely, and what an excellent win it was. I think you won at the end by about 16 or 17 seconds, so managing to pull out some pretty incredible margins there from Ollie Raza.
Yep.
But congratulations, Ollie, and thank you. We're going to move on now to Arjun Lakshmi Narasimhan in the booth here.
Hey, you got my name right.
I did what I could. Thank you, Arjun. What a race. What a drive in race 2 and also race 1, to be fair. You managed to pull out some really good results, and it's been a while since we've seen you on track. So is this new? Are you coming back? What is this?
First of all, thank you. Yeah, I guess this is my first race since the Nissan GTR in Suzuka, and then I took a break, and then I just came back recently, like a couple weeks ago.
Well,
But
you
yeah,
managed to show that you still got some pace and that you're keeping up with the likes of Ollie Raza. I mean, not quite, at least in race 2. Ollie definitely had your number, but nothing to shake a stick at.
well, I would say that mm, I I was already well behind him in race 1 after battling with the Mick Jagger Jag, but yeah, I'm like I can't drive the Jag. Like I feel like the Aston is just faster, and that's what helped me keep up with him for a little bit.
No, it totally makes sense. The Aston Martin definitely has some legs on the straight. We definitely saw tonight. The hangar straight being its home, no doubt. 12 cylinders roaring down it. But you managed to make the best out of, I was going to say a bad situation, but you never really had a bad situation. Like I said, I think you just kind of drove very well tonight, and as a result, you finished very well. Is that a fair assessment?
Thank you. Yeah, I guess I did make a mistake at the start of race 1 where like I tried to send it 3 wide, but I got pushed wide. There was nowhere for me to go, and so I place back. Around that, it's just me trying to wrestle the car around. Like if I've had like the occasional rear lockups, like 5 times a lap, just trying not to die in a car which isn't supposed to turn.
I think there was quite a few drivers struggling with that exact problem out there tonight. I see in chat we have AV6 Scott saying that he's going to need an ice bath to recover after this one. The old cars definitely take a toll in terms of their physical demands on these drivers. There's no doubt here. The conditions were no help, very slippery in that track condition, very hot. But as well, thank you guys. I think you guys are all good. I don't think we're going to see, unfortunately, unless anybody has contact with Abner Pena, if you guys could get him into the booth. Other than that, I don't think we're going to see him in the booth here today, hopefully in the near future, though. But you guys are free to go. Thank you once again. Congratulations to Ollie Raza and Arjun Lakshmi Narasimhan.
Thank you.
And big thank you as well to chat Chat, you guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Can't thank you enough, keeping me entertained. Unfortunately, like I say, alone in the booth tonight, but we'll be back in the near future, of course, with more action. We have coming up a lot of action as well. This Saturday, no race, but oops, wrong. Well, I guess I can pop that up. We have our follower goal kiss cam, which we're getting ever closer to. 1540 followers out of 1555. That is 15 followers away from a kiss cam between Dominic Smedra and I. So if you guys want to see that, make sure you hit the follow button. And why you would want to see that, I don't know. But you guys are weird, and by popular request, that is what has happened. So thank you guys, I guess, for hitting the follow button. I really appreciate it. Nonetheless, thank you guys genuinely for all the support, all the subscriptions and everything. We are going to be ending the stream here. We're going to be raiding. We're going to raid Mad Moses, assuming he is still alive. It looks like he is still alive, yes. So we're going to be raiding Mad Moses. Hope you guys have a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. I'm Mike Nause, and we're going to be signing out. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you, and good. Wait, hold on. I got to hit the raid button, and then I got to say thank you and good night. So we're going to sit here for another 10 seconds, chat. Apologies. I always do this. I'm terrible. Hashtag bad streamer. You can blame the guys in the truck. But nonetheless, thank you guys once again. Hope you have a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, and thank you and good night.